It's called Heaven Sent Angels. Heaven sent angels to watch over you and me. Our guardians are invisible, but there are others we should see. Our lives are often busy, though, so it seldom comes to mind to acknowledge our other angels who are so giving and so kind. Our earthbound angels always vary in different sizes, shapes, and ages. They're not exactly like the pictures you see printed on the pages. Perhaps they are a dear friend or someone we've just met. Maybe they're a child or even just a pet. They'll help us with those problems we see in daily life, the scary things and bitter things that can cause us so much strife. Their halos are always hidden. They look so very plain, but heaven sent these angels to us just the same. Each and every angel has the special gift of somehow always knowing when we need their feathered lift. So before they're heaven sent home again, the message that this brings: appreciate your angels here on earth before they earn their wings. The second reading I have is from something I found on Facebook. Give me a second here. There we go. It's called The Dragonfly Remembers. And as most of you know, our symbol at the Inner Spiritual Center is the dragonfly. So I felt this was very fitting for today. Dragonfly, you arrived without a sound, only the shimmer of sunlight resting upon your wings. The old ones say there are beings who carry no burden of yesterday, yet remember every river the earth has ever dreamed. Perhaps you are one of them. You hover between water and sky, between what is spoken and what the heart has always known. The lake does not fear you. It opens like an elder opening both hands to greet a grandchild. I watch you dance above the reeds, your silver wings catching the breath of Grandmother Moon. You touch the water without breaking it. You leave without leaving. Teach me that kind of walking. The people once knew how to step upon the world as softly as moss grows upon the stone, taking only songs, leaving only gratitude. Dragonfly, little keeper of changing light, you remind me that strength is not always thunder. Sometimes it is the courage to become something entirely new while carrying the same ancient spirit. When twilight gathers its blue blanket, I know the ancestors still said quiet messengers, not always eagles, not always wolves, but sometimes a single dragonfly whose transparent wings hold enough sky to guide a wandering soul back home.
So for the last year in 2025, I had started doing basically an energy class with Tim Arculi. For those of you who know the name, for those of you who have taken his classes, I started in 2025, and I believe at that time it was Ross and Bridget, a few other people. And now I decided to do it again because I feel like there's never too much knowledge on how you can move your energy into a better state, and to do something for yourself and then help others as well. So now when I started up again, and I have missed one or so, but when I started up again, now we have Deb in the class and Steve, who is not here today, and we have Gary. And Bridget was there briefly the other day, and I'm trying to, and Michelle, who, the nerve, she went away. She's in Scotland, so she wasn't there, but we hope she's having a good time. But anyway, in doing the class the other day, I realized to myself that, we are told as humans that we are energy. Now, I'm going to keep going like this to Gary because Gary is our man of science. Gary was a science teacher. So I know I'm going to say things and there's going to be a puzzlement on his face like, she may not quite be right with that, but I'm going to look to you for a few things. Anyway, if we have heard and we understand that we are energy, as humans, as living things, we are energy. I started looking up some things to try and figure out, are we all energy? And basically, we are not all energy. There is more to us. We're matter, we're mass, there's cells, there's atoms, but within that, there's energy. Am I correct in saying it that way? So far, I got an A. Very good. So in saying that, I got to the point of thinking, well, if every living thing has this energy, whether you're human or you're animal or you're plant or whatever the case may be, but I'm going to direct it to us as humans, that how powerful is that energy? How far does that energy go as us as humans having it within us and being able to put it out there as well to other people, to the universe, whatever you want to say. So what made me start thinking further was, okay, well, if we are energy and that is part of who we are, what about if our prayers are energy? And that really became like my main thought at this point. Are prayers energy? And I started reading up a few things, and it talked about in the world of science, behind the science lens, our prayers would not really be considered, am I correct in saying this, as pure energy? It's consciousness, it's intention, but they don't say that it's energy until you get into our spiritual thoughts and patterns. So our spiritual thoughts, I even talk about New Age, where the thought of prayer becoming energy that can be given out to someone or given out to wherever it needs to go. So I did feel that that was very, very logical to me, that if we are energy and that exists within us and we give prayers, whether it's to other people, like I said, whether it's to the world, no matter what it is, that energy is being sent. Throughout the week we've had, I hope they don't care that I said this, a few people who have had some health concerns, health things going on. And I thought to myself that, okay, we're hearing this about this one and we're passing that information on to somebody else and we're passing on what you might have told us and it's going. And years gone by, that we probably would have been thought to be really bad gossips. Like we're telling everybody that maybe Deb didn't feel good last week and she had a problem and Susan was going through something and different things. We would have thought like, oh my God, these people gossip constantly about what's going on within their friend pool, within the community. Now I look at it differently. Every time somebody tells you something that is heavy to them, a concern to them, they're telling you something and they're trusting you, not trusting you to keep it to yourself, but trusting that you have their heart, that you will pass this to other people perhaps, and their energy and the continued energy from the first thought to the last thought is going to help to mold and maybe change the pattern of what goes on. Now, do I know that, Deb is doing better? Susan, good for you, great news, we're so happy. Do we know that our thoughts and prayers, and I'm sensing this and then saying it in the negative, did not have an effect on that, did not change something, did not raise their energy to a different point where they could say, I'm loved, I'm cared about, I'm needed, I want to be better, I want to feel better. I mean, I said to you, we have to go to the theater together. And all I kept thinking of is, I hope that's positive energy that I'm putting out there, going together, being together. So in saying that, I had looked up the couple of thoughts, our prayers, energy. Can we make a change for somebody else? Well, collectively, the spiritual community does believe that if collectively you put prayers out there, even if it starts with one person's prayer, if you keep putting the prayers out there, the positive thoughts, they are vibrations, they are energy. It can make changes. If those prayers did not work in a case where it could be somebody's parent who you're praying for and, it didn't happen, where they didn't survive, what they were going through at that time, Does that mean that the prayers didn't work? And you've heard this before. No, that doesn't mean that. It just means what was their highest and best good? What was intended for their soul? So we may think we want them to remain with us, but is that what their soul needs to do? Is that where their spirit needs to reside? It could be a situation where you're praying for somebody and it may not be, somebody who's passing on and they're not getting better, whatever. But then maybe your intent in the way you're praying isn't exactly what is needed for that change to have happen. Maybe it's not the purest of intents. I mean, there's lots of different reasons. But still in all, everything that you're putting out there is energy. And there was a medium actually that I looked up. She's an intuitive and a medium. And she had written something about prayers. And she said she actually sat in meditation with her spirit guides and said, I need you to tell me if prayers are energy. I need you to tell me how this energy will affect other people as we're putting it out there. And she said, she got very, now, of course, this is one person's hearsay. We can't judge everything by that. But she said that she heard her spirit guide say to her, yes, when you do the prayer, when you're sitting there, you're thinking about this person, the energy is expanding. And it reminded me of Tim as he teaches us to bring the energy ball together and expand the energy, and how you can feel that energy expand and how you can feel that energy ball in your hand. It can't be coincidence. I mean, we can't just say, oh yeah, it's, he's brainwashing us. He's not brainwashing us. He's teaching us to use the tools of energy. And because I believe so strongly in those tools, I will say to you that for everybody in this center at this point, I have, either I know you well or I know you a little bit, but I have this deep feeling of love, concern, compassion, empathy, with other words, friendship. I have known other people a great many years longer. I know that when I sit in Eleanor's chair and I feel her do prayers over me, it is no coincidence that I can feel the energy of her prayers. And I actually was sitting there today and I was feeling the love. I could feel that come through as you were touching my shoulder. And it was quiet and it was peaceful, but that is energy. There are so many people in this room that you either sit with in their healing chairs or you talk with, and you can just feel that genuine love, energy, prayer, whatever you want to call it, come through. So if we are able to pray, knowing that there's the energy that's going to go out and it's going to, and I'm back talking, but do you remember at times when we're sitting and they're saying, if somebody will not accept prayer, like if you're praying for somebody, whether it's doing a Reiki on somebody or it's, healing in that way, or prayer over someone, they have the ability to accept or reject that prayer, that energy. But it doesn't disappear. It doesn't like go, she's not accepting the energy, or he's not, okay, darn it, bye energy. It goes somewhere else where it's needed. It goes to another person who maybe is sitting in that room who is in need of this love, this vibration, this energy, this prayer, whatever you want to call it. So because of taking Tim's class, and I recommend it for everybody, he is, I've heard him described as the genuine soul, the genuine person, as a master of, he's not perfect and he does go into spaces of blah, 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 but he knows how to show you to come back to where you need to be. So has he learned that his energy become prayers for people? What is he doing other than teaching us vibrations and energy and prayer? Because that's what it's a full circle of all of those together. And I hope I'm not just babbling, that you're understanding what I'm saying. That every time we hear about somebody who's not feeling well and we go, oh my gosh, did you hear? Okay, did you hear this one? Did you hear that one? It's thinking of that person and caring about that person and wanting better for that person. And when we do that, it is not gossip, it is love, it is compassion, it is prayer and healing and vibration. And I keep repeating that over and over. So the simplest thought about someone, the simplest thought is so much more meaningful than any of us at one time really ever put towards it. We sit and we're ready to do healing, and we go, oh, okay, I'll be a healer. I'll go up there and I'll, stand over there, somebody put my hands on them, and I'll say some prayers. Well, maybe that's what you're feeling, you're doing, but it's so much more to the person who is sitting in your seat. It's so much more to the people that are on Zoom that are watching this and hearing this. So in saying that, I didn't do the scientific end of it, and maybe sometime Gary will do the what is prayer is a vibration from the scientific end, but from the spiritual end, please know that prayer is energy, and energy is healing. No matter whether you're learning it on your own or somebody is teaching it to you or encouraging you to do it, it's all energy. I feel when I go to Donna's place and she's working with me, is she saying prayers over me? No, but I know that that's what's in there, along with her giving me advice and medical, advice and everything. So please say your prayers for people when you hear that they need it, because it's really important. And know that you are uplifting and giving energy every time you do that. And I'm going to leave you with that for today. And as I